Today's episode, rent.
This show's mostly about cheap laughs and donuts. And this is going to be a bit of a more depressing episode, because this episode we're going to talk about Hamilton and how it's changed and where it's going and what it's become and what it was. And it's something that makes me sad and bums me out. And we got someone to talk about this, Hamilton hip-hop royalty, Lee Reed, who's been involved in the Hamilton music scene for a million years, very talented. But he's also very involved in housing advocacy. He's gonna show us kind of what's going on.
Hey!
What's up, buddy? Why don't you introduce yourself to the good people of Bell 5's Ham Jam, watching at home?
Lee Reed, Hamilton rapper.
Not only are you a Hamilton rapper, you're also a well-known advocate. Is that the right word?
Advocate? Yeah. Organizer, activist, one of those things. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we're gonna go talk to some folks today about housing in Hamilton. This is a subject near and dear to me heart.
That's good. I'm glad to have you on board, because as someone who mostly writes songs about chicken wings, I feel like this is a subject that concerns me deeply, but not always one where I feel I have the ability to talk about it as well as I'd like to. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, if I was making a TV show about chicken wings, you'd be the first guy.
You call me right up.
Right away. We just got swallowed by the Toronto property bubble. The financialization of our housing in general, like making housing an investment instead of a place to live. Housing is like one of the biggest parts of the Canadian economy, you know? And that's not a good sign.
It doesn't strike me that it's been going on for that long, but it's really created two sets of economic class.
And now they're like trying to blame it on the Utes. The truth is, it's the rent, man.
Blame it on their love of expensive coffee, was that?
Right,
wrong?
exactly, or avocado toast. It's like, no, man, what was your rent in 2005? You know, like, you think these kids want to sit at home and not do anything? No, they just
Last
can't
time I had
afford
an
it.
apartment, I was a tempura chef at a Japanese restaurant making minimum wage, and it was enough to have an apartment, go to the bar. I could get pizza on my days off. And money didn't, as long as I was working at my tempura job, I wasn't really that stressed out about like bills and stuff. But now it seems like I have friends that have very good jobs that are very concerned about where their money's coming from.
For real?
They're not making tempura. We're back. B.A. Johnson's Ham Jam. We got catch of the day, of the week. And we're here having another nautical adventure of delicious ocean delights. We've got another fish here with Scott and with Paul, coming to you from Hammerheads Fresh on Lock Street. Scott, Paul, what fish are our viewers gonna run down here to buy tonight?
Atlantic salmon.
Look at the size of this bad boy.
Don't do a thing to it other than butter.
People are like, why'd you go to Hamilton? Like, Hamilton's such a dump. And I was like, yeah, but it's like, it's cheap and it's my dump. I like it.
Hell yeah.
Now it's expensive and it doesn't feel like my dump anymore.
So we're in the quiet dead-end street near Barton. We're talking to our good friend. Why don't you introduce yourself to the people at home on their laptops?
Hey, how's it going? Matt Ellis, Hamilton guy, family man, musician, and recently evicted. Basically what happened was things were great. The pandemic happened and we started being stuck at home and we noticed a sewer gas smell coming into the apartment. Whoever owned the building before him, it wasn't done up to code. All of the sewer gas vents were basically just tucked into the walls. And, you know, sometimes it was worse than others, but basically the whole time I was there, me and my family were breathing in sewer gas fumes on bad days, so.
And when you have a kid, you don't want them smelling sewer stink.
No, man. I brought it up several times over the years and I had to start pressing my landlord to get this taken care of. In January of 2021, when the rent freeze was going on, he tried to raise our rent, and I basically said, you know, there's a rent freeze going on. You can't raise our rent right now. It's illegal. And he kind of spun it around on me and said, you know, I think I'm being fair. I don't think you should be complaining about the rent increase. And I'm just going to tell you, maybe my son's going to move in.
Fighting something like that, what's the process like for somebody?
Once I put all of that evidence forward, I was ready to take it to trial at the LTB. My landlord basically decided that he wanted to go to mediation, and I you know, put a number down, and we talked about it, and we negotiated, and I ended up getting $1,750. back. So
Almost a month's rent.
yeah, almost a month's rent. But I understand why people walk away from the whole situation because, you know, I'm up in the attic on the computer hammering away, 10 hours, 20 hours, sending in evidence, reading my landlord's evidence, putting the case together, sending it back in. A lot of people don't have time for that, or they don't know how to do it.
It's very prohibitive, and it's totally designed to just like speed through.
I was going to say,
the
like,
process,
it strikes me that I would know that it would be hard for an older person to do it, and it's not my job to know that. So they must know that the system is kind of like jigged against seniors and everybody else.
Absolutely.
It seems bonkers they'd create a system to punish elderly people that can't use Zoom. Like,
Right.
How crooked is that?
Okay, so there's some paperwork for you to fill out
All right.
as if your landlord is harassing you.
Is my landlord's harassing me or evicting me? What are we saying here?
They're harassing you in an attempt to evict you.
So they want me out.
Yeah, so you're now trying to assert your rights.
My rights, my legal rights as a tenant
Yeah.
with Mo, the lawyer.
My name is Bo Bassat. I'm a staff lawyer at a legal clinic here in Hamilton. So I work within housing law and human rights, and I've been there for 3 years. Basically, if someone showed up to the Landlord-Tenant Board Tribunal without representation, I would be the one to like step in and provide summary legal advice.
Are you applying against your supervisor landlord's agent because they cause a problem? Shade the circle completely next to your answer. Shade the circle. It's a square. What did my landlord do? Chuck maliciously entered apartment, threatened eviction. Okay.
So right away, I'll tell you, right now, this would get dismissed in court because they would say that you haven't created a case for them to meet. You would need to show exactly date and time of everything that happened and who, what, where, when, how. When you look at it, you're just like, I'm powerless to this. What can I do? And it's so much easier to just be like, fine, I'll leave. So for the most part, people I think they want to stand up, and when they come to us, that's what they're asking. And it takes a lot of courage to come to a legal clinic or come see a lawyer and be like, help me fight this. But that's basically what we're getting every single day, 70 to 100 calls a day.
For reasons 6 and 7, you can only apply if your landlord caused the problem.
We have 4 housing lawyers for if you look at all of Hamilton, maybe 700, 800,000 people. So the numbers are stacked against us. Our operating budget is $3 million, and the Hamilton horse division is $1 million. So our whole office is only 3 times more than the police horse division. So there's a conscious choice about let's keep this organization down so that they're incapable of fighting us at a level that they need. So we're under-resourced.
On purpose.
On purpose.
This is depressing me. Yes, I could sign my name. I could figure that one out.
Yeah. And then also it costs $50 to file this.
What?
Yeah.
My name is Michelle Hareshka. This year I turned 64. I just got out of the hospital in December after having a stroke. So I'm just adjusting to being back home and coping with all the changes physically. The original eviction date was December 31st, 2020.
And that was after your original landlord had passed away.
Yeah, because he passed away in June of 2020.
So there was no problems when he was alive, but after he passed away, his
cousin,
I guess, took the property over. So he was sending you letters or calling you in the hospital.
Calling
Yeah.
her on the phone, being paying
right,
me.
you owe me, and I'm because
After you'd had a stroke.
I couldn't get out, so I gave him over 2 days, $2,000, and I feel like he swindled me. Right, because I really don't know if it should have went to him, and I got no direction from the estate, who owns, that was part. I feel that should have been part of their responsibility to tell me who owns. I don't have a rental agreement with the cousin. I had a rental agreement with my landlord, right? Not the cousin. Because he was threatening me with more, M4s, M5s, whatever. Because of my trade, I was used to paperwork. So paperwork doesn't scare me. I called the legal clinic and I said, I feel like he's terrorizing me.
Yeah.
And I want it to stop. So basically I was told that in those cases, he says, they're nuisance paperwork, more to scare people.
When's the last time you talked to somebody? Like one of the people from the estate or?
No, they haven't. Yeah. Nope.
So it's been months?
It's been months.
You got any advice for tenants that are facing these things?
If you get any kind of this paperwork or threatened with eviction, contact the legal clinic. They'll tell you to fax whatever the landlord's given you. Ask around in your neighborhood. There, in Hamilton, there are several tenant organizers. They'll give you the advice you need. I would say fight.
With housing in such a crisis and everything seeming terrible and miserable, what keeps you going doing this kind of stuff?
There's like this underground community of people in this city that like I never saw in other cities that I've lived in. And I think that's part of like Hamilton's roots. Like there's this like blue collar working class unity between people to fight back against like the powers that be, because they're like, no, we don't want the fabric of the city to change. So that's like how I can keep myself going through it.
Can I add one thing though to the conversation we were having earlier? You always talk about how you put your faith in the Creator. I would posit that what the Creator gave you was your fight though, because what makes you different than other tenants that are getting kicked out or pushed around in their situation is you stood up and fought back. That's something that should be got across, because it's not just placing your faith in something. You fight hard and you push back and
I'm a fighter, sorry.
That's right. So like I would say that, you put your faith in something like you say about the outcome of this, but at the same time, you fought. And that's a big part of the reason why you've managed to hang on to your house for a number of years now, and that's not the Creator, that's you.
Creator gave me those gifts. So.
That's right, that's what I'm saying. That's how you should look.
Yeah. Yo. This is not a song about violence. This is not a song about riots. It's just a new type of diet. We'd like you to try it. And it's in season, consider it seasoning. Recall, chopping up, landlord meat again. Serve still bleeding, steak knife to beating. My fork keep feeding them. Kill that greed and then tell the LTB. Suck my penis in demon beast. Eviction machinery, the legal means by which the poor getting fucked more for sure. It's above board for sure. Hey yo, government endorse it, government enforce it. Scores of folks forced the floor to edges. Tents under bridges, tents in the parks. The landlord serving organic carcasses. Most folks starving, the life's hard. Landlord snob, plate so large, face so punchable. We'll make a lunch with the mob outside the high-priced brunch spots. Ha! The rent can't afford it. The food can't afford it. With all that wealth getting hoarded, 2 birds, 1 stone. Eat your landlord. Yeah. Eat your landlord. Your landlord. Eat your landlord. Yeah.